I'm from Madras, Oregon. I graduated from Culver High School, a small 2A school, and I'm currently a business major at Oregon State University. It's my second year. I just declared, and I live in Corvallis when I'm at school. I'm also dual enrolled with LBCC.
I'm first year at OSU, and I'm also dual enrolled with Lynn Benton. I'm a biology major with a Spanish minor.
I'm enrolled at the University of Oregon. I'm actually here in Eugene right now because I'm an RA, that's a resident assistant. We oversee the buildings and the residents. And my major is human physiology, and I'm pre-med.
I am a senior at Oregon State University in Bend. I'm a business administration student. I was dually enrolled with Central Oregon Community College, and I graduated from Redmond High School in 2016.
Currently a freshman in Chemeketa. I graduated from Dayton, and I'm majoring in special education.
This is my second year at Chemeketa Community College. I'm going for the nursing major, and I graduated from Dayton in 2018.
What do you think of college so far? Do you like it? And if so, why or why not?
I currently enjoying college. I'd be enjoying it more if I was there right now, but that's all right. I believe the second year was a lot of fun for me. I finally found a major that I love and enjoy doing. I was engineering as a freshman, and I struggled and was not having the best of the time, but now I'm succeeding, getting good grades, and having lots of fun.
In my 4 years, I've really loved college. I started off from the get-go as a business administration student, but over time I've kind of come into my own. I work with the Office of Admissions, and I also have an internship with a startup accelerator, which has allowed me to get to know a lot of great new people around my community. So the college experience has helped me kind of be a lot less shy and a lot more open to talk to new people. And that's something I am super grateful ever since I got into college for that.
For me, I'm a sophomore now. This is my second year physically on campus. And I'd say what I love most about it is just the connections I make with people. I've made really great friends here. I just love the connections. And not only my friends, but like also a lot of the teachers and professors that can be awesome too. So I say for me, the biggest thing was just meeting new people and coming into my own that way.
Is college hard? And if so, what do you think makes it difficult?
For me, the hardest thing was like self-accountability and like just knowing like the resources I had available to me. Because in high school, like nothing was ever like, chemistry was like the one thing I really had to like work at, but everything else kind of came to me like easily, I guess. And so getting to like college and like just holding myself accountable for like getting help was really difficult. And also during fall term, I got sick. I got the flu, so I missed out on like all of finals week. And so I basically like flunked out my first term of college. So that was like really hard for me to like, because it's not like it was like my fault, but just like the mentality of being like, okay, well, I technically failed on my classes until I take my finals, like I failed, and like being able to like recover from that. And yeah, just figuring out like who I had to talk to and who could help me and stuff.
I had a unique freshman year, I'd say. I fell into academic probation, so I struggled. That means I went below a 2.0 because I was not making grades my first 2 terms at college. I found that out currently now. I have above a 3.0, and I'm doing very well in the College of Business. I'd say I'm very happy with myself, how far I've come. But I think it's just a matter of self-accountability, like she said, time management, and self-motivation. I found myself every day when I was on campus, and now more motivated to complete my coursework and attend my lectures because of the material I'm learning, and it excites me more. So I'd say it wasn't the material that was hard, but just like finding something that motivates you, something that drives you and pushes you to get that degree. Because I was in the College of Engineering, and I told myself for 4 years through high school that I was going to be a civil engineer and I was going to be all this and that. but it did not work out. But I find myself a lot happier now.
I agree with Myra, first of all, that those resources are definitely something you need to look for yourself. It's not like people are going to approach you and be like, yo, you want help tutoring? No, you got to go reach out for that. And it kind of sucks when you don't, because you're missing out on something that is free, that the university is providing. And it's honestly such a great help. But for me, I would say the thing that was the hardest was adjusting to how the teachers do it, how they teach the material. Basically, it's not just always handed to you. At least for me in high school, I always felt like, you know, the teachers are basically giving me the answers, and it was easy material to work through. But maybe it's just because what I'm studying, but the material is a lot harder now, and I really got to think through and critically think about what I got to do, and you know, the answers and everything. So I'd say for me, it was the material.
Definitely agree with everyone. I had a little bit of a horror story with my first finals. I wasn't sick, but I accidentally got the time for one of my finals wrong. So I thought it had been at 3:30. It was at 2:45, and I found out at 2:30. So, and I live in Redmond, so I had to and I wasn't even driving at this point. So this is it's just going from bad to it's subtly getting worse. And that was the term I got my first D in classes. And so I graduated high school with a 3.9 something. So I was very used to saying it's oh, I'm a good student. I'm great at school. It's all going to be smooth sailing through college. And I think something I definitely learned was a lot of forgiveness for yourself. Just knowing that sometimes classes are just hard. They're from the way that Edwin was saying, that the teachers teach it a certain way that it's just not doing it for you. Some of them, they're not providing the help that you feel that you need. And just saying it's okay, I tried my best on this exam. I will let myself be sad about it for a good day. Then afterwards, I just got to keep pushing, just got to make it towards that final grade. And just knowing that it's okay to not be doing as well as you did in high school. I know that that's something that I see a lot of freshman students deal with, that it's just that sudden decline that you're not seeing that you do as well, and you start to freak out and you start to feel worse about yourself. It's no, everyone's gone through that. You're in a place where everyone should understand what that's about. And so that first time that I got my first D on that exam, I walked all the way to the Old Mill District. If you guys know where that is, it's a good 30 minutes away from my campus. I just walked straight there, just listening to the saddest music I could think of. And then the next time I did not do as well as an exam, I was okay, we did our best. We're gonna do we're gonna stalk the teacher for more academic help so I can do better on the final. Just keep looking forward. It's not the end of the world if you do bad on an exam.
Let's start with David, and then we'll go with Myra. Tell us a little bit about what that's like. What was that like for you, transitioning from living at home with your parents in high school to having lived on campus at the university?
At Oregon State, you are required to live on campus as a freshman. I had an interesting experience. My first roommate was foreign exchange from China. We did not communicate a lot, and his sleeping schedule, I don't think ever got adjusted. So he'd be up late and I'd be in bed, and he'd be playing video games. But those first 2 terms with him were not the greatest. It was fun to learn about his culture a little bit, but it definitely gave me every reason to leave my dorm. And my spring term, my last term as a freshman in the dorms, I had my own dorm, and that was probably better than the first 2. I enjoyed that much better.
I roomed with someone I knew from high school, but she wasn't my best friend. It was just somebody that I had in a couple of my classes. I was in one of the honor dorms, which I'm not an honor student, but my roommate was. So it was really surprising that I had a really nice room. We had a walk-in closet and stuff. And our beds were in a whole different room than our living space. So that was really nice. We did have kind of some issues just because my roommate got really comfortable having her boyfriend over. And so he was over like all the time. So we did have to like have a lot of conversations about that. But it was a really good experience while I was there. And I'm definitely sad that I had to come home early.
Can you share a little bit about off campus or at home, or have lived off campus or at home with parents during college?
Since I live in Redmond, some of the college options I was looking at were like Portland State and Washington State, and then OSU Cascade, which I had not known about a lot about at the time. I actually did not know that it was an actual college. I kind of thought it was just one of those. I did not know what it was. It just did not seem like a real college to me until it was explained to me a little bit more. And being able to get an Oregon State University accreditation, like degree from there, while still living at home, saving a little bit of money, was very appealing to me. And it's definitely been very interesting because I've always been someone who I think like Christina can vouch for me. Ever since I was like younger, I always loved to like stack myself up with projects to the point that I just can't anymore. And that has often led to like a decline in my mental health. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed, sometimes I'm stressed, sometimes I'm just like crying out of just sheer panic. And truly, having my family there just like to back me up and having them with me has helped me so much. Even just to the point that sometimes, like right now in midterms, my family has actually come downstairs at like 1 a.m. They're just like, get back upstairs. Okay, you're done. Like they take my laptop away from me. They're just like, you're fine. You're basically graduating with honors. Just chill, and we can move on for the next day. Also, saving a lot of money on housing is awesome. I will say that I never have to worry about I just have to worry about my tuition payment. But I've really enjoyed living with my family, especially because I'm such a family-oriented person. I love getting to spend the weekends with my younger brother and my sister. But it's something that I actually was considering moving away to Corvallis after a while, but just due to the job opportunities I was offered here, I decided to stay, and I haven't regretted my decision since.
Since I go to Chemeketa here in McMinnville, and then I take some class in Salem, I actually chose that to start off because, again, like definitely said, I saved a lot of money and stuff, and like housing and food and all that kind of stuff. And right now, I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, I really enjoy being home because like she also said, I'm very family oriented, and like hard times I'd rather be home and in my own space and stuff than rather to be like in a college and stuff, like in a dorm. And I don't know, it's just a better place for me. But I really enjoy being able to like drive over to Mac and stuff, and then be able to come home, you know, when I need my own.
Back to David. David, you shared that you moved out of your dorm and then you were in a different dorm. Are you currently living in dorms, or where are you currently living?
No, I live in a fraternity.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
It's fun. I was definitely worried that I'd be very distracted and my academics would fall, but since I switched my majors, I've had good grades and everything's worked out. Privacy is definitely an issue. I wish I got more of that, because in a dorm you don't get much privacy, and in a fraternity you don't get much privacy. So I can't wait to live out a fraternity, but it's worked out pretty fine. We keep it relatively clean, and it's actually not very expensive compared to Corvallis housing. I pay a total of $7,500 for the year, and I'm not paying rent during the summer, the 3 months, because most leases are a year lease. You have to pay during the summer, but I'm paying $7,500 for the year. I get food. You don't worry about paying bills. You have your own bed. You share a room with a roommate, and compared to a lot of leases in Corvallis, you're paying that just as rent, not including food or anything else. So it's quite relatively cheap, but I know other fraternities are cheaper. Ours is kind of higher compared to other houses because we're trying to renovate our house and make it look newer and nicer.
Edwin's an RA, so for those of you who don't know, that stands for resident assistant, which means he actually works in the dorms. Edwin, can you share a little bit about what that's like and why you chose to become an RA?
I didn't really think I was ever going to become an RA. I didn't like my RAs really. And it wasn't like what I thought I would be doing, especially in college. You know, I expected myself to live in the dorms for the first year, like you usually do, and then live out with my friends in an apartment the next year. But my RA, not my RA, but an RA in the same building, I ended up connecting with, and he ended up recommending me to become an RA because he thought I'd be really good at it. So because of that, I ended up taking the extra step to check it out, and it's honestly been a really good decision. Made a lot of friends through it. It's really fun too. For most places, I believe you get your room and board covered, so you wouldn't have to pay for your room. But it is at the same time a job, so you have to be able to balance a little bit of the schoolwork with it. But it's honestly not that bad, and yeah, I really have enjoyed it.
For those who might not know, can you describe a little bit what an RA does? Like, what is the job?
Yeah, so the RA is almost like the caretakers of whatever floor or building you're in. You'll probably have an RA dedicated to you, so you'll be assigned to them, and they'll often have one-on-ones to check in with you, help you get connected to whatever resources or help you might need, whether it's counseling, tutoring, anything like that. A lot of times too, the RAs do what are called like rounds, where we move around the building to make sure that, and police, just to make sure residents aren't doing anything illegal or against the policies of the university.
What do you do for fun? Well, as a college student, you study, you take tests, but what do you do to de-stress and just enjoy life while you're a college student, whether it be on campus or off campus?
Well, regarding the current situation, there's not a lot to do, but just like really study and focus on homework. But before like this whole quarantine thing, I would say like a good de-stressor for like all of us college students and high school students as well, which just really take time with your family, you know, spend time with friends, enjoy that. Find like spontaneous trips to like the beach, hike, you know, find ways to de-stress yourself and just really enjoy things outside of school while also focusing on school at the same time. I would say that would be what I do.
For me, it's you got to get away from campus. A lot of times, just meet new people. Not new people, but just hang out with your friends, find something to do. I like to get away from campus because when I'm on campus, all I think about is like the homework I got to be doing or the classwork I got to do. So I definitely recommend getting away from that and enjoy nature, enjoy whatever you like to do.
I'd say the same thing like Edwin said. Lots of recreations are offered on campus, like IMs. I play a lot of basketball and soccer on campus. Those are my favorite sports. That's when I'm on campus, but since I live off campus, I know at our fraternity we have a really nice sun deck that we like to just hang out on top of, especially during spring term when it's nice and sunny. We'll just hang out up there on game days. We'll invite lots of friends over, and we'll have social gatherings, and then basically lots of sports playing because we have so many friends or brothers on the house that we just get to hang out with all the time. So you're basically always hanging out with someone or being busy if you allow yourself to be in, if you get your schoolwork done.
Can you tell us what the IMs, what is an IM?
IMs are intramurals. They're like recreation activities. So like you can join a soccer league. They have multiple leagues like co-ed. They men's A or men's B, you know, depending how competitive you want to be in the league, if it's just for fun or if you want to compete for a trophy and some like t-shirts and stuff like that. They have online games like on the Wii or Xbox if you're into that kind of stuff. They have basketball, softball. I know they have a wrestling tournament where a bunch of kids can go out and compete if you want to. But basically, almost any sport you want, they have, or any game. Even if they don't have it, you can like do some paperwork or some stuff, and then they can like offer it if enough kids are interested in doing it. They do swimming and volleyball, almost anything you can think of.
So they're like sports or competitive events, and can anyone join them?
Yeah, anyone can join them. You pay a small term fee of $20, and that's good for the whole term. And then, yeah, it's like it lasts the whole term. Each term is a new game depending on the season. So I know soccer was coming up in the spring. I was very excited for it, but COVID-19 ruined everything. And yeah, I mean, we at our fraternity we create teams that compete, and we compete against other fraternities, and that makes it a lot of fun.
I also did intramurals. And then towards the end, I got really into going to the craft center, just like with my friends, like after class and stuff. We would go and paint or just like hang out in there. I also liked to go skating with my friends. We all had little like busty penny boards, and it was really fun just to like ride around campus. Yeah, we also went on hikes sometimes, but we were all new to Corvallis, so we had like one hike that we would always go on.
I would like to hear about any other clubs or even sports or extracurricular activities that you do within your college besides the classes you take.
My freshman year, I was a part of a program called CAMP. It stands for College Assistance Migrant Program. So they help students, first year students, adapt to the new environment, make the students aware of resources they have access to. They help you fill out scholarship applications, job applications, almost anything you need help on, they'll help you. They helped me with a lot of that. And they also provide lots of financial help if you need it. I got a lot of that, and I'm extremely grateful for it. But that was an organization I was a part of my freshman year. After your freshman year, they lead you on to another program, and it can range from EOP and TRIO. They're two different programs that are for like I'm not sure what the criteria is, but a lot of minority and Latino-based students are in this group, and they provide the same type of resources and help that students need. So I know through that I made a lot of friends, lots of connections that I still contact to this day whenever I need help or advice on something.
Yeah, so I was in this similar like program. I was in the STEM leaders, which we all got kind of grouped in with like EOP and TRIO and CAMP. I got a lot of the same emails that kids in those programs are getting. But basically STEM leaders was like, it's a program that lets you do research early on in your educational career. So like right now before I came home, I was in a research lab, and I was gonna get later on I'm gonna get the opportunity like to present my research at a symposium and stuff, which is really cool and really nice that they like basically like give it to you. Like you don't have to they help you get in contact with professors. They teach you how to do like interviews with those professors. They show you like a lot of the resources on campus, and just like help you adjust to like college and being like a professional. And then through that was where I had a mentor, and like towards before we left to go home, I was starting to go to a lot of clubs with her. She was like inviting me to she was a senior, so she like knew a lot of people on campus, and would invite me just to go with her to like I went to like a couple of the like women of color events and just other little clubs. There was one that was like I think it was called Real Talk that I went to a couple times, which was like conversations that would happen between like student athletes and like regular like students. So yeah, I got a little bit involved in a lot of clubs, but never really got the opportunity to like invest a lot of my time into them.
College finances. Are you working on campus? Are you working off campus? Do you have a job as a student? Are you worried about the debt, the cost of college? How are you managing that aspect of this big change in your life?
I went with a school that had like the best like financial aid package. By going to OSU Cascades and still being dually enrolled with COCC, I was able to use my Oregon Promise at COCC. and whatever I got from a refund there, I use it towards my tuition at OSU Cascade. So I can easily say that in my first 2 years, if I paid like, I think it was like $1,200 for like 2 full years of college, it was a lot. It was like more like around the 900 range that I've used with all my scholarships. Following like using up all my Oregon Promise, I went through and got a job as in AmeriCorps Vista, which is actually how I met Jennifer, and participated in that for like 2 summers. From there, I've been kind of like working since then. Currently, I work for the Office of Admissions at OSU Cascade, so I'm the person that like gives tours to like students, works at events, speaks at like student panels for them exclusively. And then I'm also a student, I'm a student consultant at a startup accelerator, in which I kind of work in my craft and kind of, if anyone needs like market research done, if anyone needs for someone to handle the social media accounts or anything like really business related, they come to me and they like pay me like a good amount to do stuff for them, to work with those clients. And it's a really great networking opportunity for me, because I've gotten to work with people who I don't think I could have ever worked with if I had been trying to do that on my own. And to the point that it's actually encouraged me to go for my master's after this. So fingers crossed that I can finally get back to campus after all this, because this is not a fun way to spend the spring term of your senior year.
Financially, I would say I'm paying all my tuition and books and fees and all that through FAFSA and through Oregon Promise, and basically through any scholarships I was able to apply for. I'm thankful I did receive some scholarships to help me pay for my college, but as well, I have a job, so as a caregiver, which is helpful for my nursing major. And I also did a federal work study my first term at college, which is basically just working for the school. I did the front office. I just answered phone calls. I would do errands, and that sort of helped me like become sort of like a student leader, but I really didn't commit myself to actually becoming a student leader. I think federal work study is a good way for high school students to like really invest in their college and get some sort of income while being in college, because while you're in federal work study, you get the.
Oh, I think we lost audio.
So for me, my first year of college at least. So first, I chose probably one of the most expensive universities in Oregon. It definitely is like not only tuition wise, but also the cost of housing is pretty expensive for not so great dorm rooms. So it was definitely tough my first year. I didn't end up choosing to do any work study or work. I tried to rely solely on my scholarships, which was all right. It got me through my first year, but I definitely regretted that. But what is really nice about the University of Oregon is that they have a really, really awesome scholarship called the Pathway Scholarship. As long as you're from Oregon and, your family doesn't make a ton of money, you're probably going to get guaranteed to have it. And what it does is covers all your tuition. So that's super nice. That's like $20,000 of tuition every year that it covers for nothing. And then apart from that, I guess for me, I definitely recommend trying to get scholarships or doing what I'm doing, which is an RA. It covers the other like $15,000 for your room, so, and food. So super great. And that's
awesome.
My first year was pretty good. Like I said before, camp helped a lot financially. They helped me get through the first term almost paying none out of pocket. Through my first 2 years, though, I have taken out federal student loans. You asked if I'm very worried about it. I'm not very worried about it. I don't take out that much. I am not that much in debt, and I just receive as much as I need to get by the year. I work a lot during the summer that I save up and helps me cover expenses, as well as when I go home during breaks. My parents help me enough to get by, and I'd say I don't ever struggle that much where I'm missing a meal or I just can't, take up an offer to go eat out with my friends, and everything works out pretty well for me.
I guess there was a follow-up question to that. Is there an OSU team at Cascade, OSU Cascades?
Unfortunately not. It's intramural, but we do have like it's our teams are mainly all intramural. If you look at our campus, it's kind of a little bit smaller scale. So for that huge like football game, getting to sit with everyone like what David was talking about, main campus is definitely like the place that you'd want to be at to have like that full college football experience.
Top 3 majors at OSU.
The College of Business, College of Engineering, and College of Agricultural Sciences are really big here. I'd say if you want to study any of that, definitely recommend Oregon State.
Computer science, business, human development, and family studies are some of the top ones at Oregon State as well.
We also have the best online school program. I think number 3 in the nation or 7 in the nation.
My OSU's top 3 majors, which would definitely be kinesiology, biology, and elementary education. Again, I give 2 or so it's like the top of my head. So those are like the ones I see the most. Kinesiology is like one of our most popular majors. Computer science is pretty popular too. Business is kind of like the second one that most students go towards as well.
Yeah, so it would probably be business. Business is huge. We have a huge international business program. Also journalism and probably human physiology or biology. Those are kind of interchangeable. And chemistry. Those 3 are all kind of interchangeable. This school is pretty good for the pre-med track and research in general.
What should current high school students do to be ready for college?
I'd say what's one of the top things for me and for every student is find a place you feel at home where you feel like you can thrive. I know a lot of students go someplace and they don't enjoy it. They go back home and everything. But I love Corvallis. I love the environment. It's a college town. I think we're the best college town in the Pac-12. And it's just fun being here. I want to go back. I miss it. And if I'd say if you're not asking yourself, like, when am I going to go back? I miss college, or like, I can't wait to go back, then you chose the wrong college.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I want to say. So the first one is, sort of what David was starting to get at, which is definitely know sort of what you want to do. I mean, you don't need to know exactly, but once, like what David was saying earlier with that motivation thing, it comes to play a lot that, you need to realize that if you're trying to, go take this higher education, you're doing it with a purpose. You're not trying to, lollygag and stuff and, mess around for nothing. Sometimes you might not know what you want to do, and that's perfectly fine. Just, really focus. And I think my second point kind of leads in to how you can do better in that, and that's a 10 class. I think that's the easiest thing you can do. Like, it sounds so simple, but so many people end up sleeping in through a lot of classes or whatever the case is, and it's just super beneficial to a 10 class. You'll understand the material 100% better, and you'll just do so much better on the tests and everything.
So I think with that, we have reached the end of our College Talk Tuesday for today. I'll hand it over to Jennifer, and I want to say a big thank you to everyone for joining us today.
Thank you so much to the panel and for the students that did log on with us today. We really appreciate it. And this was an amazing talk. I think there was such great advice and information from our panelists.